how does the important work you're doing at AIFOR, both in Japan and international, relate to notions of global citizens and global citizenship? So we try to get back to the challenging question here.
Okay, well, I think what's interesting here is that we live in Japan, and so we probably have similar experiences in that we're forging international careers in a place that struggles with what it means to be international. It struggles in terms of what it means to internationalize. And so when you have schools of international, so OSIP is the Osaka School of International Public Policy, and it's the old school of public policy in Japan, but it struggles with being international. And lots of universities in Japan struggle with that notion. There's sort of domestic lines and students, and then there's students that are brought from other countries, and often there's a difficulty in mixing them, principally for linguistic reasons, principally because of the fact that, of course, Japanese dominates in Japan, and that the lingua franca for these other students tends to be English. So within the School of International Public Policy, what we wanted to do was use the convening power and the international pull of our conferences and our events to be able to allow international students and allow domestic students to, first of all, make friends, get to know each other, but then also to be able to embark on research projects together. So the School of International Public Policy, if you like, was our home. It was the first place that sort of said, well, why don't we do a project together? And that was originally under the founding of His Excellency Ambassador Toshiya Hoshino, who's now auditor at the UN.
Yeah, so the International Academic Forum, IAFOR, is...
AIFOR.
And how would the acronym exactly is, how is pronounced exactly?
It's pronounced AIFOR.
AIFOR, okay. Yes. I was struggling with that.
Most people do, yes.
So it would be interesting, I believe, for our audience here to better understand, of course, shortly, because it would take a long time for you to go through the history of this important work you're doing with the International Academic Forum, but how such an internationally connected reality developed in Japan and then to the rest of the world. What were the critical core steps based on your experiences?
Okay, so to say something about the founding, I'm the principal founder of AIFOR, and I was teaching at a university in Japan, and I wanted to engage in international conferences, and I found that it was quite difficult, because if you didn't speak Japanese, and I didn't speak Japanese, then I would go abroad to conferences in America or the UK, and my background is a historian, and I'd meet Japanese, but I wouldn't be able to meet them within Japan in anything other than language teaching contexts.
Yeah.
So it was this sort of intuition that led me to go, okay, perhaps we could do something within Japan, because it's a big market. There's more than 700 different universities here. And there are lots of people like myself and Japanese who would like to work in English, who perhaps would benefit from being able to get together and convening.